All right, there we go. So welcome everybody to the Nexel Saturday Coffee Hour. As I always quip, it is indeed the shortest coffee hour on the planet. Today it's going to be even shorter because I'm going to share my enthusiasm and excitement about some things that I alluded to on Thursday night's call. By the way, if anybody on the call today was on the call on Thursday, forgive me, I'm just going to review a little bit. But the Thursday night call was all about perspective. And I quoted the author of the Tao Te Ching, and his name is Lao Tzu. And he said, you know, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, you're living in the present. And I said, far be it from me, although I, contend to be a bit of a philosophical kind of guy, I'm never going to refute great works of art like that. But I wanted to push back just a little bit, because I keep on thinking that as we think about our past, it depends what you're thinking about. If you're depressed, then you're busy thinking about yourself. I like to think of the past as that great path to wisdom, the experience that we've had. Well, I'll never do that again, or I wish I could do that again, whatever it is. So the past isn't always that bad. And thinking about the future, this is the land of opportunity. America is, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me. There's opportunity on every corner. So I don't get anxious about that. I mean, if you don't have enough money to live to the end of the month, I guess that might be worried about the future, or you don't know what you're going to do in a relationship, or how you're going to educate your kids. I guess if you're focused upon that, that might cause some anxiety. But by and large, if you use the future, based upon where you are today, the future could look awful bright for a lot of people. So those people who are entrepreneurs, who I was addressing Thursday, and I'm sure we're addressing the entrepreneur again today, we get in the middle of things. We start something new. We almost reinvent ourselves to take advantage of certain market things. So the future's great. Now, but then Lao Tzu says, and for those who are at peace, they're living in the present. There's another philosopher we talked about the other night called Eckhart Tolle. And Eckhart Tolle says, all you've got is the now. Forget about the past, forget about the future, live today, da-da-da. And I kind of picked up on that. I've read a little bit of Eckhart. And he's got a very, very interesting approach when he says this is all we've got. I do agree with him. And that's why I get excited when I'm doing the calls. Philosophically, we are in the right place at the right time. The present is a beautiful thing. And rather than being worried about depression or anxiety, we should be concerned about whether or not we have peace. And I'm so excited to say that what's happening in the present should give a lot of people a lot of peace. That doesn't mean that we should be complacent and wait for things to happen. But we should have peace in knowing that this great country of ours, the whole planet for that matter, is a great place for those people who want to be entrepreneurs, get involved, get in between things, start something new. That's really what we're all about. And that conversation on Thursday came in the wake of what I've been talking about for several weeks now, and it's the whole concept of an affinity group. And an affinity group is a whole lot of people, like-minded people, focused upon one concept, and everything from charity to hunger to saving the ocean. You name it. Marriage is an affinity group. Two people. They're like-minded people. They agree to spend the rest of their lives together. It's amazing. So there's an intense emotion that's involved with affinity. Well, what we're doing at Nexel is we're going to build an affinity group, all right? And everybody who's with us is already a part of it, but we have got some responsibilities before us. And that is the fact that this is a booming market. And, everybody knows what's happening to CBD. Sometimes I think too much is happening with CBD, and there's a lot of confusion over it. And the states can't make up their mind, and the federal government said it's okay, and oh my gosh. But that's typically what happens. But once again, that's where the entrepreneur survives. We get in between, we start something, we figure out where we're going to go with it. So we read that article back in April from Consumer Reports that said this industry is going to grow to $22 billion by 2022. You have got to be kidding me. It's almost, it's like hard to get your arms around that much volume, but the explosion will be that way. So what are we going to talk about on the call today? I happen to have a guest on the phone. We will not formally invite this guest. Actually, this guest is a new representative, a new member, and she and her husband are going to have some things to say during the week. Now, I can't tell you all those details. I'm not at liberty, but I'm one of those guys that likes to kind of stir up the pot, if you know what I mean. Oh, a cannabis term, stir up the pot. I didn't mean that. But anyway, so we know that this industry is going to explode, and we know what our growth is today. And we know that there are people who love our product, who love Mexcel, and they're out there sharing it. And we love all of the customers that we have. We've accumulated quite a few customers. But once again, in order for us to create and maintain a powerful global footprint in the cannabis space, in the health and wellness space, we have got to go about it far more aggressively than we've gone at it in the past. Now, that doesn't mean we did anything wrong. That was a part of the past. Once again, it's part of experience. It's where we gain our wisdom. And you get to the point finally where you say, we're just doing fine. The company's making money. We're trucking along. If we're going to make our mark, and if we're going to achieve this level of excellence that we all talk about, where we can get our hands on 8%, well, let's make it 2 of $22 billion. Anybody who's on this call, living in the present today, living in the now, ought to say that's a whole lot of money. Well, we don't want to make it all about the money, we used to say. We're about helping people. Baloney. If we're entrepreneurs and we're going to create an affinity group, it's going to be an affinity group of people who see where the money is, because you can't spend a year warming up and not making a fortune, because you can make a fortune in a year's time if the model is built correctly and we've got the right people to go in there and stay focused on that particular objective, creating a global footprint. And I've said this a few times. I said it when I was in San Angelo at the training a couple of weeks ago. Although I am certainly inspired and coached by Steve himself, I am on a personal mission. And my personal mission, it's part of my responsibility for the company, being a communicator kind of guy. I'm your business coach, your business development coach. And what's got to happen here is really exciting to me. We have to be responsive, not reactionary. But in this particular space where things are happening so quickly, it's far, far more diligent if we're responsive. So we're going to do things differently. I don't want to introduce once again that whole concept of change. Change makes people a little bit unsettled, a little nervous. Our comp plan as it exists is still going to remain. Our whole theory of leverage, getting a lot of people doing just a little bit of work, is still going to be maintained. But our focus is going to be upon becoming wealthy by moving mass quantities of product. That's who we are. We are in the wealth and wellness business. So we are going to get wealthy by moving a lot of wellness products. Now, having said all that, that's my introduction, my enthusiasm for a Saturday. Our new friend is, it's 5 o'clock in the morning there. I'm not going to tell you where it is. It's a few minutes after 5. And I'm just so happy that they're there because they're certainly a part of what you're going to hear this week. So let's just regurgitate what we just talked about. Quit worrying about the past. It's gone, my friends. Don't worry about the future. It's bigger and brighter and more awesome than most people can imagine. And what you have to do is focus upon where we are now. Nexel is doing that. Anything that we ever do is for the benefit of the members. Anything that we ever do is to make sure that when effort is expended, when energy is expended, when time is expended, somebody is compensated for that. And you got to be compensated well, or you're not going to do it very long. Does that make sense? Okay. So during the week, our target is this week. It could happen Tuesday, and don't worry about it because you're going to get a text, and you're also going to get an email, and we're going to welcome you to one of our special events, and we're going to lay out this whole program. And I'm only reluctant to tell you more details today because I've got to polish the marble. If I'm going to be enthusiastic about where we're going, I want enough detail so that I can communicate it with you. And I'm still in the process. Everybody's still in the process, so it might take a little time between now and Tuesday. And you know, I don't even want to say if it doesn't happen Tuesday, it will Thursday. But here's what I want you to do. 2 things. Call to action, and we're done for this morning. Okay. The call to action is this. I'm inviting everybody to show us your mettle. You know, show us what you got. And I know you've got mettle because you're on the calls with me on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you know I love you, and you're always in my mind. But you're going to be the first to know. And what I want you to do is have faith in the announcements. I want you to make sure that you're ready at least by Tuesday to have some people on the call. And you've got to tell them, we do what's known as a daisy chain. Everybody says, all right, I'm going to have 3 guests. Some of you who don't have good friends, you're only going to have 1. I understand that. For some of you who have got influence over a lot of people, you could have 10, 20, 50 people on that call. And then if it happens on Tuesday, we're going to have a bigger crowd, and we're going to invite everybody back for a follow-up presentation on Thursday. This group will grow exponentially if everybody plays. If you're not going to play, why bother? If you're not going to say, look, you mean there's an opportunity here and I can change the way I feel and my financial health as well, and you can't bring a couple people on to support you that can say, man, you're on the right track. As a matter of fact, I might be interested in learning what this strategic move is. Once again, it's a powerful strategic move. Bring people in with enthusiasm. That's the first thing that I want you to do, okay? Can you commit to that? Bring some people on the call on Tuesday. I want to hope that it's Tuesday. I want to start early, so does Steve and everybody else. But have those people ready. If, by the way, we don't have all the detail, I just want to see how good you were at getting the people on the call. Because Wednesday will go by, and then we'll be there Thursday. We better have 3 times as many on Thursday. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So we're serious about this. Second call to action. Second call to action is each of you has a replicated website. When you signed up, you know what it is, nexel.biz/ whatever your alias is. Get on that website and go to shop. That's all I'm going to tell you about today. Go to shop, and what you will find, because I know a lot of you haven't been there today, you haven't been there all week, that's okay. You're out frying other fish, living your life. You didn't have the urgency or you didn't have the need. Today, you ought to have some urgency. Go to the website, go to shop, and you will find some things that are different there. I don't want to get into the detail about the difference. They will be obvious to you. What is not obvious is the rationale behind it and the true strategy behind it. And our guests on during the week, let's just say that, are going to help us usher it in. And then once it's all announced and you feel comfortable, we've still got the multi-level side. We've still got the retail side. If you want to open a store, you can still do it. If you want to make a lot of commission by getting people who are already in the business to take our product line on, all of those things are available, but we have gone another step based upon our research, based upon the influence of professional people who understand the market and who are convinced that this may be the missing link to blasting off some absolutely outrageous commissions. And if you're in this because you got migraines, keep on taking your CBD. Your migraines will ultimately go away. If you're in this because you've got somebody in your family and they're not doing well, God bless them. Our prayers are with them. You get them on the product. We love our customers. We love everybody that we can help. But if you got into this business any day with some inkling that you're in the right place at the right spot, maybe at the right time, that was kind of redundant, wasn't it? You're in the right place at the right time. Now is the time to realize that this is a business that is so lucrative, it's scary. We've got to have all the components together. I believe we've got them together. My friends, look at your shop now in the website. Make a list of people that you're going to invite and say, hey, listen, I don't even know what's going to be on there. If you don't like it, hang up. All we want is a bunch of people to hear it all at one time. And then we'll do it probably Thursday and we'll do it Saturday. We are ready to get our percentage of that $22 billion. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I'm going for it. I know we've got some people on the phone that are ready to go for it. And we are here to support everyone. So I said a lot without telling you what's going to happen, other than I believe it's powerful. And I've always been known as the eternal optimist. I do not get anxious about the future. I welcome the future because the opportunity is there, and anything that happened in the past is gone. But man, I learned a lot. So if our perspective changes, regardless what the great Lao Tzu said to us or said to the world at the time, there is a little twist to everything, and I believe that we are indeed in the right place at the right time. So I look at my phone today, and it's 11:20 on the beautiful East Coast, sunny and bright in Florida. I am so happy to be alive. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I've got a busy day planned, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to let you go too. As always, we've been blessed, my friends, with great abundance, not the least of which is this tremendous opportunity with Nexel. You get your friends lined up for the phone calls this week. Make sure you go and take a look at what's in the back office and the products, and you may have some questions. That's a joke. You will have lots of questions, but they're all going to be answered this week. Special shout out to Cindy. Thank you for being on the phone with us this morning. I look forward to what's going to happen in the near future. Aloha to you. And I hope I told everybody. And that's about it. So, yeah, I've been blessed today, and I still love you guys, no matter what you think. I really do. You have a great Saturday. God bless you, man.